Zuckerberg has gained the aura that Elon Musk. Well, we need to talk about Zuckerberg too. Zuckerberg is bending down to kiss the ring of Donald Trump. And although some of you are going to say, Mark Zuckerberg, you should stick to your principles, I'm just going to tell you the truth of it is, here's the deal. So Donald Trump in 12 days, 11 days, is going to be the president. Lena Khan and the FTC is going to get demolished. And there's going to be a new guy in power that Trump appoints that's going to do what he wants. Jump when he says jump. There is only one company, maybe two. There's two companies that conservatives agree need to be broken up or hit with antitrust. Meta and Google. Everything else that FTC does is going to be taken down, but conservatives all agree that Meta and Google, because they've been silencing conservative voices. Meta, if nothing changed, is in the crosshairs. Zuckerberg is public enemy number one that everybody, left-wing and right-wing, can agree needs to be broken up or investigated for antitrust. They have a social media monopoly, okay? Zuckerberg, realizing this, is proactively kissing the ring, slobbing the knob, doing whatever he has to do to get Meta out of the crosshairs. So that includes, number one, making a huge cash donation, multiple millions, to Trump's inauguration fund. He did that immediately. Second, he flies out to Mar-a-Lago to meet with Trump, kiss the ring. Third, he goes on a public apology tour saying, we will never fact check again. We're getting rid of that. We're firing our fact checkers. Everything is free speech. You know what I'm saying? He's doing all of this for a business reason. He didn't suddenly pivot. He didn't suddenly go, you know what? I love you. He is doing this because Meta is target number one. His advisors have made this very clear. Like, if you do not get out of the path of the upcoming FTC, they have only one thing to focus on, because they're not going to stop mergers. They're not going to shut down airline mergers or grocery store mergers or anything else that the FTC was doing before. They're not going to worry about one-click cancel. They're going to care about one thing: breaking up big tech that they think silenced conservative voices over the past few years, or like promoted mask wearing or whatever. So this is what Zuckerberg is doing. I just want to be very clear. This is like open and shut. He is protecting billions in value of his companies and his stock by kissing the ring. He also, number four, he's putting Dana White on the board of Facebook, of Meta. Dana White from UFC is personally invited by Mark Zuckerberg onto the board of Meta. This just happened. This is so blatant. Now Dana White can show up to the FTC and be like, don't investigate our company. These big, what do you mean, but why? But why is because he does not want Meta to be in the targets of the FTC in the new administration, which would cause it to get broken up. Again, there's a big push for antitrust on these big companies. And the only company where both conservatives and liberals agree is Meta and maybe Google. And they'll want to split off Instagram, make it separate, punish them in some way for silencing conservative voices. I just want you to understand, this is the big four that's happening right now. Antitrust is good. I 100% do think antitrust is good. I have no problem if they wanted to investigate Meta. I think it's weird to pick, antitrust. Like right now, the FTC under Lena Khan is investigating Meta. They did a lawsuit on Meta, on Google, on Amazon, on a bunch of companies, plus grocery companies, plus airline companies, plus Blizzard, plus L plus ratio. Okay? What I'm saying is the only one that'll still be palatable under the new administration is Meta and Google. And so with all of the force focused on that, he's afraid. Zuckerberg is afraid. He's doing this out of fear. I'm just pointing out the business reality. I'm not commenting one way or the other. What's Google doing? I think Google also donated to his fund. I don't know if they've done anything else. Sundar Pichai is not as much of a schmoozer as Zuck. Tim Cook also donated. I mean, everyone's donating to his inauguration fund. They're Bezos, yeah. Again, Bezos has to get on Elon Musk's good side now because Elon Musk has Trump's ear and Bezos wants to launch rockets. And now Elon Musk basically has authority over it. It's crazy. What is an inauguration fund used for? To make a big swaggy inauguration? It can be used for whatever it wants, I guess, but it's used for a swaggy inauguration. Anyway, I'm just explaining what's going on. I just want you guys to understand. Like, if you think Zuckerberg's just, having a random change of heart, I want you to understand there's a very real strategy at play with billions of dollars at stake and the future of his company and empire. And he's doing this for a reason. This is the games being played as the world shifts under their feet. I mean, they disagreed, obviously, but I believe this got deleted internally. Yeah. Free speech. Free speech. I work at Meta and confirm the post was nuked. We got all types in here. We got all types. When I hear Dana White, I think of the girl from the Isn't that Danica Patrick? Isn't that not even close to the same name? Mutant Fallout. I watch your YouTube videos all the time. I'll catch you live of the content. Mutant Fallout. First of all, thank you for the sub. Thanks for liking the YouTube. Thanks for stopping in. Anything you want to talk about Mutant Fallout? Mutant Fallout, what's the topic that's on your mind? You're a new chatter here. You see the discussion. What is on my mind is the RTO that my company is pushing for 5 days a week. Sad face. Tragic. He has to return to office. You want to talk about the end of remote work? Well, here's what I'll say. It's turning out that despite the best efforts of many, many corporate leaders, remote work is in fact not dead. Remote work is remaining steady as a share of total work basically since 2022. No matter how they try to stamp it out, people love it too much. They are in fact, I mean, what's the sad part is people are literally taking pay cuts to avoid not having to do remote work. But what it implies, the data implies that remote work is here to stay. It is just a fundamental shift for at least some people that they just won't go back to the way things were. And so companies are eventually figuring out the what you call arbitrage, where they can get better talent if they allow remote work. That is actually starting to happen, and it's looking like it will exist. However, my theory, as I've mentioned many times, is that many of these like crackdowns on remote work are actually not them caring so much one way or another about remote work. It's them doing stealth layoffs. It is a stealth layoff. It is companies that are realizing they have to downsize and want a nicer way to do it. It's an excuse to fire. It's an excuse to downsize. That is more common right now, I think. As I mentioned, first of all, layoffs have been hot and heavy since 2023. And unemployment continues to tick up. It's slow, but it's directionally up. Do you know what I'm saying? Everyone's like, it's not a problem. It's not a problem. It's within historical norms. It's not a problem, but it's headed up. It keeps going up. And return to office is one way of stealth layoffing. It's how they're sort of expressing it. Can you explain to me why layoffs often record an increase in stock price? It doesn't make sense to me that increasing employee count by hiring and expanding raises stock prices, but so do layoffs. So, I mean, very obviously, both things can be good. If you're openly hiring, you're saying we're growing so fast, we need more people. That's bullish to the market. The market's like, hey, that's awesome. You're a growing company, that's great. But if you are already a big company and you're doing layoffs, what you're saying is, hey, we're really focused on cost cutting. We're gonna get more savings to return to the investors. So both can be good in different ways. And it really depends on the story you're selling the market. It depends on how you spin it, which is why return to office being a stealth layoff is a great way to report quarterly numbers where it's like, hey, we saved a lot of money because you fire a bunch of people stealthily without having to do a big public, we're having layoffs, which is like slow growth. That's why people want to hide their layoffs. Hiding your layoffs is a win-win because you get to report numbers that have lower costs while also not having hey, this is a big mistake on our part, slow down. Do you think AI productivity preaching companies are doing it just a way for them to lay off people without doing the impression of the company doing poorly? There's some of that. Yeah, there's some of that where a company's like, hey, we're not gonna hire anybody because we're starting an AI thing. And it's like, you're not hiring because you're not growing. That's like a big part of it. There are, especially in like publishing news and all that, where they're like legitimately trying to find ways to replace all humans with AI. Full stop. They're just trying to find a way to get all of their employees off the books, and that is real. I wouldn't say that's a lot of people talking about AI are actually doing the same thing, but. My boss has been stealing employee tips for 2 years. Do you know why I can anonymously report that? Department of Labor, maybe your state labor board. That's 100% illegal. Both things he's doing are illegal. Unless you're one of my editors, then do nothing and wait. In fact, report it to HR, which is me. Okay, if you're one of my editors, report that to me. But if you're in a different business, yeah, wage claim with the labor board. And don't be afraid to do it. Like literally, I think you should report it. I think you'd be doing a noble thing. You should take a weekend and do the research, go through ChatGPT, figure it out, and do a real report. And I think it would be a good thing for you to do. It sounds like a guy's an asshole. And then here's the other thing. If you report them and you get confirmation the state labor board's going to do something about it, you should almost like let it leak that it was you that reported it. Because if they fire you, then you can sue and make a huge payout. If they have any retribution on you for any retaliation, you can make big money. If they do any sort of retribution on you, you could be cooking. This is not legal advice, by the way. Don't show this clip in court. I don't have many opinions on New Zealand. I know they have housing price problems and they have inflation problems like everywhere else in the world, but they're not as bad as Australia, so they kind of get ignored, and they're smaller, which I'm sure is the story that many New Zealanders have heard a million times. I don't know if you have any uniquely New Zealand things you want to talk about, but at least here's the good thing about New Zealand. If everything goes to shit, You can break into Gabe Newell's bunker and live there and play Counter-Strike with him. Do you know what I'm saying? That's a plus. That is the New Zealand effect. You can all band together, break into Gabe Newell's bunker, and just you can try Half-Life 3, the unreleased copy. So that's sick. Caring about Half-Life is so millennial coded. I don't know how to tell you this. I don't know how to break this to you. This is like, unfortunate you get to find out like this. I am a millennial. This is like, I wish we would have this conversation earlier. I'm a millennial. I am a millennial. I'm open about it. I'm actually an open millennial. I read Harry Potter growing up. I watched Nickelodeon. I was there for the first episode of SpongeBob. Like when I gathered around with my friends and we watched the debut on Nickelodeon on TV with commercials. So that felt good to say. I'm actually glad I got it off my chest. Was it in black and white?